The Beltway snipers, also known as the DC snipers, were responsible for a series of sniper attacks that terrorized the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area in October 2002. The perpetrators, John Allen Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malvo, randomly targeted unsuspecting victims from the trunk of a modified Chevrolet Caprice. Over a 3 week period, they killed 10 people and wounded 3 others. The victims were shot in various locations, such as gas stations, parking lots, and shopping centers, creating a sense of fear and panic in the community. The shooters left cryptic messages at some scenes demanding money and warning of more killings if their demands were not met. The authorities launched a massive manhunt, and the snipers were eventually apprehended at a rest stop in Maryland. The motive for their shooting spree was later revealed to be a combination of personal grievances and a desire to extort money. In 2004, Mohammed was sentenced to death and executed in 2009, while Malvo was a minor at the time of the crimes, received a life sentence without the possibility of parole. The Beltway sniper attacks left a lasting impact in the region, prompting discussion about security measures and law enforcement response strategies. So, as I said earlier, the Beltway sniper attacks in 2002 claimed the lives of 10 innocent victims and left several others wounded. Here's a very quick biography of all 10 victims and the 3 that we know for a fact were injured by the attackers. The first victim was James D. Martin, who was 55 years old at the time of his death, which was October 2nd, 2002, in Wheaton, Maryland. James Martin was shot and killed in a grocery store parking lot. The second victim was James L. Sony Bushanan, who was 39 years old at the time of his death on October 3rd, 2002, in Rockville, Maryland. He was mowing the grass at a car dealership when he was shot and killed. The third victim was Prem Kumar A. Welakar, who was 54 years old at the time of his death on October 3rd, 2002, in Aspen Hill, Maryland. He was shot and killed while pumping gas at the gas station. The fourth victim was Sarah Ramos, who was 34 years old at the time of her death on October 3rd, 2002, in Silver Spring, Maryland. She was sitting on a bench outside of a post office when she was shot and killed. The fifth victim was Lori Ann Lewis Rivera, who was 25 at the time of her death on October 3rd, 2002, at Kensington, Maryland. She was vacuuming her minivan at a gas station when she was shot and killed. The next unfortunate victim was Pascal Charlotte, who was killed at the age of 72 on October 3rd, 2002, in Washington, D.C. He was shot and killed while walking in the city. The next unfortunate victim was Dean H. Myers, who was 53 years old at the time of his death on October 9th, 2002, in Manassas, Virginia. He was shot and killed while pumping gas at a gas station. The eighth victim was Kenneth H. Bridges at the age of 53 on October 11, 2002, in Fredericksburg, Virginia. He as well was shot and killed while pumping gas at the local gas station. The ninth victim was Linda Franklin, who passed away at the age of 47 on October 14, 2002, in Falls Church, Virginia. She was shot and killed in the parking lot of a Home Depot. The final victim was Conrad Johnson, who was 35 at the time of his death on October 22, 2002, in Aspen Hill, Maryland. He was a bus driver, and he was shot and killed while standing on the steps of his bus. These individuals, from various walks of life, tragically lost their lives during the Beltway sniper attacks, and their death had a profound impact on the affected communities. The seemingly random nature of the shootings heightened fear and anxiety in the region during that time period. Of course, my condolences to the friends and families of these victims, as well as the 3 individuals who were injured and who I will speak about briefly in a moment. Iron Brown was the first to be shot, but who survived the attack. He was 13 at the time of this attack on October 7th, 2002, in Bowie, Maryland. He was waiting outside his middle school when he was shot in the abdomen. He thankfully survived the attack after undergoing surgery. Caroline Sewell was the next victim to have been attacked but survived at the age of 43 on October 4th, 2002, in Spotsylvania County, Virginia. She was loading her car with items when she was shot in the back. Thankfully, she too survived the attack and provided crucial information to the authorities. The final victim, who was attacked but thankfully survived, was Jeffrey Hopper at the age of 37 on October 19th, 2002, in Ashland, Virginia. Jeffrey Hopper was pumping gas at the gas station when he was shot in the abdomen. He survived the attack, thankfully, after undergoing surgery. The survivors experienced traumatic incidents during the sniper attacks, and their testimonies played a significant role in the investigation and subsequent trial of John Allen Mohammed and Lee Boyd Malvos, who were both found guilty of various accusations. The injuries they sustained served as a stark reminder of the indiscriminate and random nature of these attacks that gripped Washington, D.C. and the metropolitan area during that harrowing period. John Allen Mohammed and Lee Boyd Malvo were the individuals behind the Beltway sniper attacks in 2002. Here are some details about both these individuals. First, John Allen Mohammed. He was born on December 31st, 1960, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He served in the U.S. military from 1985 to 1994, where he trained as a mechanic. He served in the Gulf War. He faced many personal challenges, including a troubled marriage and a custody dispute over his children. After leaving the military, he struggled with his family and was involved in various legal disputes. As well, Muhammad's criminal history included allegations of domestic violence as well as other offenses. He faced many legal issues related to his marriage and custody battles. In 2002, of course, Muhammad, along with Lee Boyd Malvo, carried out a series of sniper attacks in Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. These shootings were characterized by their randomness, creating a climate of fear and panic on the community. Muhammad and Malvo were both arrested on October 24th, 2002, at a rest stop in Maryland. During the trial, it was revealed that the motive behind these shootings was a combination of personal grievances and a desire to extort money. In 2004, Muhammad was convicted of multiple counts of murder as well as other charges. He was sentenced to death and executed by lethal injection on November 10, 2009, at the Greensville Correctional Center in Virginia. Lee Boyle Malvo, who was the second attacker in these series of attacks. He was born on February 18, 1985, in Kingston, Jamaica. His early life was marked by instability as his mother left him in the care of a family friend, John Allen Muhammad, when Malvo was a teenager. Malvo's relationship with Muhammad developed into a mentorship and eventually turned into a father-son dynamic. He accompanied Muhammad during the sniper attacks, and their bond became central to the investigation. Malvo was the younger of the two snipers and actively participated in the shootings. The attacks were carefully planned, and the duo used a modified Chevrolet Caprice to carry out the shootings. Both, of course, were arrested at a rest stop on Maryland in October the 24th, 2002. During the trial, it was revealed that Malvo had been indoctrinated by Muhammad and played a significant role in the shooting. Malvo was found guilty of multiple charges, including capital murder. Due to being a minor at the time of the crimes, he was not eligible for the death penalty. Instead, Malvo received a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. The Beltway sniper case in 2002 involved a substantial amount of evidence that played a crucial role in the investigation, arrest, and eventual conviction of John Allen Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malvo. Here are some of the key pieces of evidence. The firearms and ballistics. The snipers used a Bushmaster XM15 rifle during their shootings. Ballistic analysis linked the bullets from the crime scenes to the specific rifle. Crime scene patterns. The shootings followed a pattern of targeting individuals in public places such as gas stations, parking lots, and sidewalks. The apparent randomness of the attacks contributed to the sense of fear and panic in the community. Tarot card and notes. At some crime scenes, the snipers left cryptic messages, including a tarot card with the words, "Dear policeman, I am God," and a demand for money. These messages were intended to create confusion and sow fear. The vehicle description. Witnesses provided descriptions of a dark blue Chevrolet Caprice with New Jersey license plates seen at or near some of the crime scenes. The information was crucial in identifying and locating the suspects. Surveillance footage. The surveillance cameras captured images of the snipers at various locations, providing authorities with visual evidence of their activities. These images help to identify the suspects and their vehicle. Fingerprint and DNA evidence. Forensic evidence, including fingerprints and DNA, link the suspects to the crime scenes. The fingerprints, in particular, were found on items left at the crime scenes, providing a direct connection to the perpetrators. Witness testimonies. Survivors of the attacks, as well as individuals who observed suspicious behavior, provided crucial eyewitness testimonies. Witnesses helped to build timelines of the suspects' movements and activities. Surveillance and stakeouts. Law enforcement conducted an extensive surveillance and stakeouts in response to the tips and leads they received. These efforts contributed to the eventual location and apprehension of the suspects at the rest stop in Maryland. Confessions and statements. Both John Allen Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malvo made statements to law enforcement after their arrest. These statements provided insights into their movements, motivation, and involvement in the shootings. Vehicle modification. The Chevrolet Caprice used by the snipers were modified to allow them to shoot from the trunk without being detected easily. The modifications were examined as a part of the evidence to understand the planning and execution of the attacks. This combination of forensic evidence, eyewitness testimonies, surveillance footage, and the unique aspects of the crimes played a crucial role in building a strong case against John Allen Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malvo. The evidence presented during the trial ultimately led to their conviction. The pair were arrested at 3:19 in the morning on October 24, 2002. There are multiple dates of conviction depending on where they were prosecuted. For more information, please visit the two websites you see on screen. The first is from the FBI's archive database on the case, and the second is a Wikipedia page about the case. Of course, there's plenty of information on the web and YouTube itself if you want a more in-depth analysis of this case.